Massive chaos erupted on the BTS stage in Tampa, Florida, when thousands of ARMY filling the stadium were suddenly left speechless by a moment no one had ever imagined before. V, also known as Kim Taehyung, unexpectedly paused the concert atmosphere in the middle of the roaring cheers, then made a confession that instantly stirred emotions across the entire stadium with bold and shocking words. "This song is for you, my husband," directed specifically at Jungkook. Within seconds, the mood shifted from excitement to pure disbelief, then exploded into a sea of hysterical screams that shook the entire arena. This super rare moment was not only marked by that surprising statement, but it was followed by a tight embrace, meaningful eye contact, and intimate dancing beneath the romantic stage lights. Thousands of cameras immediately rose into the air, recording seconds that many are now calling one of the most emotional moments in BTS concert history. Short clips of the event instantly spread across the world and shattered social media statistics within minutes. ARMY across different countries could not stop screaming, crying, and declaring that this was the greatest concert of all time. Stay until the end, because what happened next was even more shocking. Before we begin, make sure you are ready to love this moment. Welcome to Taekook Fans, the home for everyone who always waits for every sweet, emotional, and unforgettable story of Taehyung and Jungkook. The online world and social media were suddenly shaken after that unexpected moment happened during the BTS unit group concert that reunited V, Kim Taehyung, and Jungkook in Tampa, Florida. From the beginning of the show, the energy inside the stadium already felt different. Fans who came from many countries could sense that the night would be special. But no one expected they were about to witness something far beyond imagination. In the middle of the grand stage with spectacular visual effects, Taehyung suddenly stood alone beneath a dramatic spotlight. The music slowly faded, the crowd became quiet, and the entire stadium seemed to hold its breath. Jungkook stood not far from him, watching with a curious expression. All eyes were locked on Taehyung as he held the microphone tightly, as if preparing to say something incredibly important. A rare silence covered the stadium, filled with tens of thousands of people. Even the screams of fans slowly faded away. Taehyung then lifted his gaze, smiled softly, and looked directly at Jungkook. In a gentle but clear voice heard throughout the stadium, he said, "This song is for you, my husband." Those words hit the audience like a giant wave of emotion. In a split second, the stadium exploded with deafening screams. Many fans covered their mouths in disbelief. Some cried while hugging the person next to them, while others jumped hysterically after realizing they had just witnessed a moment that would be remembered forever. Audience cameras captured Jungkook's reaction as he appeared surprised, then smiled shyly while lowering his head for a moment. His expression was soft, warm, and full of meaning. When he looked back at Taehyung, his eyes seemed to answer everything that had just been said. The stadium roared again as Jungkook slowly walked closer. The two then stood side by side in the center of the stage. A ballad began to play softly, and they started singing with deeply emotional harmony. Every lyric felt deeper. Every note sounded more touching, as if that night was not just a music performance, but a story unfolding live in front of thousands of people. Throughout the performance, their interactions became the center of attention. Taehyung repeatedly looked at Jungkook with a smile, while Jungkook occasionally responded with shy expressions that made the crowd scream again. Their closeness that night felt natural and full of comfort, making many say their chemistry could never be faked. Their affection on stage did not stop with words. As the music entered the chorus, they began moving together in choreography filled with closeness. Their movements were perfectly synchronized, as if telling the long journey they had shared together over many years. Their eye contact was almost never broken. In several moments, Taehyung stepped closer until there was almost no distance between them. The audience screamed every time they smiled at each other. Many said the atmosphere felt like watching a romantic movie scene live on a giant stage. The emotional peak happened when they decided to sing together into one microphone. Taehyung wrapped an arm around Jungkook's shoulder, then slowly leaned his head against him. Jungkook responded with a warm embrace that looked sincere and comfortable. That visual, under golden lights, instantly became an iconic image flooding the internet minutes later. Their voices blended perfectly. That tight embrace made many fans cry because they felt warmth and sincerity rarely seen on a stage that large. Some audience members were even seen sitting down in tears, unable to speak as they watched what was happening right before their eyes. During the next song, the atmosphere turned more playful. Taehyung and Jungkook began joking around while dancing freely across the stage. They held hands, spun slowly, then laughed openly. That spontaneous joy filled the stadium once again with happy screams. One of the most talked about moments happened when Taehyung suddenly hugged Jungkook from behind. Jungkook was seen smiling widely while continuing to sing, while the audience nearly lost control from excitement after seeing such closeness. Many cameras were shaking because their owners were screaming too hard. That night felt like a celebration of the powerful bond between them. Every touch, every glance, every smile seemed to carry deeper meaning. For many fans, the Tampa concert was not just entertainment, but an emotional experience they would remember for life. It did not take long before clips from the moment flooded every social media platform. Within minutes, millions of views were recorded. Hashtags related to the Tampa concert shot to the top of global trends. The names Taehyung and Jungkook dominated worldwide searches, while thousands of new posts appeared every second. On TikTok and Instagram, creators from different countries posted real-time reaction videos. Many cried, screamed, or analyzed every second of what happened. Compilations of their eye contact, embraces, and Taehyung's iconic sentence spread incredibly fast. The phenomenon was called one of the biggest fandom explosions of the year. Even people outside the fandom became curious. They started searching what exactly happened in Tampa. Entertainment media, pop culture news accounts, and online communities discussed the event non-stop. It proved that their influence had gone far beyond music and turned into a global cultural phenomenon. As the concert entered its final part, the atmosphere became even more emotional. After the closing song ended, Taehyung and Jungkook stood at the front of the stage while looking at a sea of purple light sticks. They looked at each other, then smiled as if saying thank you without words. When they walked off stage, they were still holding each other closely. The audience continued shouting their names, hoping the night would never end. Many said those final seconds became the most touching moment because it showed how comfortable and close they were with each other. Now the world's attention turns to the next concert. Fans are wondering if the surprise in Florida was only the beginning of something much bigger. Will there be another confession, another special collaboration, or a moment even more emotional in the next city? Ticket demand for the next tour dates instantly surged. Many people who were previously unsure were now trying to secure seats just to witness the continuation of the story that began in Tampa. This tour is no longer seen as just a concert series, but an emotional journey connecting artists and fans in an unfolding story. With unstoppable energy, this tour is predicted to end with an incredible climax and leave a new legacy in global pop history. If Tampa shook the world, then who knows what will happen next? But one thing is certain, the world is now ready to welcome every second of Taehyung and Jungkook's journey with unwavering excitement. Like, subscribe, and leave your positive comment here. The best comment will be pinned as appreciation for everyone who continues supporting this channel. Thank you to everyone who always stays loyal with Taekook fans. Wishing all of us good health always. This video reflects my personal opinion and interpretation. This video was made for entertainment purposes only and does not represent confirmed facts.